Although it seems that interest in the Jaime del Burgo case has waned, we are going through a difficult time for the Queen, a sort of Letizia who goes from one problem to another, we could say. The situation for Felipe VI's wife remains particularly complicated, as we discussed yesterday. It seems that she was not well received at the funeral organized for the son of Infanta Pilar, who passed away at the age of 29, leaving us too soon. The departure of Fernando Gómez Acebo has left the family completely devastated. At that time, Letizia did what was expected by attending one of the 3 appointments organized in case of a death. On this occasion, her presence surprised everyone, including Lecturas magazine, which speculated that she probably would not attend, and if she did, she would not be well received, given that she has never shown interest in getting closer to the Bourbon family. In this context, the Bourbon environment did not welcome the consort. In fact, she became the center of attention, but in this case, negatively, at Fernando Gómez Acebo's funeral. What exactly happened? It is said that there was a previous humiliation because Juan Carlos and Infanta Cristina entered together. Both had spent the weekend in Madrid and had stayed at the palace in Zarzuela, something that was strictly prohibited until recently, a situation already quite remarkable. And it's a gesture, they say, that defied Letizia's instructions. Previously, Letizia was the one in charge, so to speak, and the truth is that at this moment she has no power. Nobody paid attention to her. According to El Nacional de Catalunya, the family turned its back on Letizia. Basically, that's what they tell us. And now we'll discuss more, because we're going to talk about everything that happened. But essentially, what they tell us about yesterday's events is that Letizia's presence among friends and family, as well as among the Bourbon family itself, seemed overshadowed, they say. Her presence went unnoticed, and some members of Los Gómez Acebo even openly expressed their wish that she not be there. Why? They say it was because of the damage they considered she had caused to the family. Despite this, Letizia, following royal protocol, attended the event, arrived late, practically left first, left quite early, and avoided any contact with the Bourbons, including Juan Carlos, Infanta Elena, and Infanta Cristina. It is true that there is a photograph out there in which it seems that Juan Carlos did have some words with Letizia. But according to this media outlet, it wasn't really like that. Moreover, they say that Letizia was out of the loop all afternoon. None of the Bourbons spoke to her, and yes, they say fortunately there were other family friends who disguised a somewhat truly unpleasant situation. But that's not where it ended, because the humiliations not only come from the political family, so to speak, from her husband's family, but also from her own flesh and blood. And it's that Leonor has done again what hurt her so much just a few months ago. Leonor has shown respect to her grandfather, Juan Carlos after several months without seeing him. What has caused this encounter? El Nacional de Catalunya, in an article that I find striking, states the following. They claim that Leonor has had little contact with her paternal grandparents because of Letizia. The Queen never had a good relationship with the Bourbons. Therefore, when the opportunity arose, she tried to retaliate in every possible way, and so it happened. She excluded them from the crown, eliminated their roles, and removed their salaries from the state budget. With Juan Carlos, she was even more severe, forcing him to abdicate and years later, exiling him to the United Arab Emirates. She gave the orders and Felipe carried them out, something that several media outlets have repeatedly claimed. In recent times, this situation has not ended there, as the princess and her sister Sofía have grown up under the care of their maternal grandparents. This today could almost be considered a crime, as depriving young girls of a part of their family is punishable by law. But we'll leave aside, so to speak, the more legal matters and focus on what the news reports. According to reports, they were always under the constant presence, so to speak, of Paloma Roca Solano, who would arrive every morning at Zarzuela when they were very young to take care of them, while their parents attended various commitments, as it is said they were working. It is known that they had events some days, but not always. In contrast, Queen Sofía did not even allow her to approach. There were notable episodes where it is said that Sofía was going to deliver toys that belonged to Felipe to her granddaughters, and the nanny, so to speak, informed her that she was not authorized on the list of visitors allowed to have contact with the girls, which gives an idea of the true torment that both Felipe VI's parents and these girls have experienced, apparently deprived, almost constantly, of their paternal family. However, this situation has changed. In recent times, Leonor has shown considerable audacity and character, evidencing a clear loss of maternal influence. That is, fewer traits of the Ortiz family are perceived and more of the Bourbon family. Although Letizia has tried to avoid various situations, such as her eldest daughter Leonor appearing photographed with the former king, even when they have met, as on her 18th birthday last October, where they were together at the same dinner but no images were leaked, Juan Carlos was one of the first to leave the private celebration. However, Leonor is not just passing through at the military academy in Zaragoza, but is internalizing values and knowledge, showing respect for hierarchies. At that private celebration, according to some media outlets, such as Monarquía Confidential, what happened was revealed. Leonor not only hugged her grandfather, which moved him and brought tears to his eyes, but she also addressed him as, "At your command, Majesty," and stood at attention. History has repeated itself once again. What happened on October 31st has happened again this weekend, on the 67th of April. What exactly happened? Well, Leonor has shown a sympathy towards her grandfather, greater than what was perhaps expected, given that she has been raised with opposing values. In fact, they say she was eager to meet him, so much so that during the lunch organized at Zarzuela this weekend, which brought grandparents and granddaughters together, something uncommon, Leonor was excited to see her grandfather again after 4 months without doing so. At that private and family event, she followed protocol and showed respect for hierarchies, repeating the gesture she made on October 31st. She stood at attention and said, "At your command, Majesty," to her grandfather. She also curtsied to Queen Sofía. So, we see that the process of becoming more Bourbon-like is happening at an accelerated pace, or at least in large steps. And certainly, the situation is notably striking, as Letizia has lost all her power and influence, being humiliated both by certain institutional events and by her own family, who seem to be turning their backs on her in a difficult moment for her. I understand Leonor's reaction, because when someone is negatively influencing you about your perception of a family member, and then you realize that things are not as they were painted, it is natural for a contrary effect to arise. And that seems to be what is happening between Letizia and Leonor, as some media suggest. It seems that their relationship is not at its best, and that Leonor is distancing herself from her mother and getting closer to her father, although we do not have solid evidence, only the word of these media outlets. To add a little more context to this situation, some reports also mention a problem that Felipe VI has with his father, Juan Carlos. It seems that Juan Carlos is obsessed with what will happen when he passes away, as seen in his recent attendance at funerals, such as that of Queen Elizabeth II of England, or the memorial service for Constantine of Greece in Windsor. This concern extends beyond the royal family and also affects Zarzuela and the government, as they fear that Juan Carlos may die outside of Spain. Nobody wishes for Juan Carlos to pass away outside the national territory. In fact, according to reports, they are already planning how that outcome would be. It seems that Juan Carlos is obsessed and has been reflecting on it after witnessing various funerals, such as that of Queen Elizabeth II of England. This obsession seems to be affecting him, and they are debating how that moment would be, with military honors, honor guards, and other details mentioned in the Monarquía Confidential article. Although the article provides a detailed insight, the main message is that the funerals Juan Carlos has attended in recent years have caused him some insecurity about what the day will be like when he is no longer in this world. It is even said that he has agreed with his son that in case of serious illness, he will be able to return to Spain, something that until now had not been definitively stated. This is the latest update on the Spanish royal family.